Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. It is another gorgeous sunny summer day here in North Carolina, and today I'm going to share with you how I am maintaining my annuals here on the back patio. It is, I guess it's now July, right? Happy July, everybody. And so this is kind of July 4th is my rough timeline, kind of my reminder of this is when I need to start kind of maintaining my annuals here on the patio because they've been in the ground for quite a while now. And I want to make sure that they continue throughout the summer looking amazing. Now, right now, they look fabulous. And I am probably going to give some of you a heart attack. You are going to freak out. Jenny, I can't believe you're cutting these gorgeous flowers. What are you doing, woman? Well, I am thinking long term. So let me show you what we are going to be doing today. Of course, we are here on the back patio. It is a full sun already. And so it's going to be a toasty one for sure. But what we're going to do is we have three main total kind of projects that we're going to be looking at. One, I am going to be pruning the Supertunia Mini Vista White petunias because they are glorious. They're beautiful. There is a single row here. They're planted, I planted them on the emitters, so maybe 8 to 10 inches apart, but that single row, they're doing fabulous. But I know because look, they're touching the ground, like they're literally touching the patio. And so I'm going to come through here and I'm going to cut off the bottom part. So we have this side of the patio that we need to do, and then we have this wall as well. So they're actually touching the ground on this side, and so we are going to come in and shear them back. So essentially what I'm going to do is right here where the wall is, we're going to cut all of this and below off. So you're like, well, Jenny, why in the world are you doing that? They look great. They do look really nice. We have had as far as maintenance, what we had to do was come in here and trim out because they were starting to go into the shrubs. And so we did that right before the signature experience. But again, I want these babies to maintain this. I want them to stay beautiful. And if I just let them go, then eventually what's going to happen, and not too long from now, is up here at the top, they're going to get super thin, no flowers, and it's just going to be green, or it's going to be real kind of scraggly looking. For example, there's one little spot right here where it's kind of already started to happen. See where I have this empty spot? That's because the plant is putting all of its resources down here. I want to maintain more up here. So we're going to do that, and then we're also going to go ahead and do the mini vistas that are here around the lanterns. And so we're just going to kind of come in on the outside and shape around the outside. So that's one project that we're going to do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the hanging baskets. This is actually where we're going to start because it's it's the easiest of them all. And so in the hanging baskets, I have got caladiums, diamond frost, and then that beloved dichondra silver falls. So as you can see, the Silver Falls is doing great, but again, it's getting kind of like, especially, and I rotate these because I have the hooks, and so they just spin around. So every day when I water them, I just spin them. So they're getting plenty of sun coverage, but you can see like this one is like really long and a little thin. So we're going to come in here and shape it up. So we're going to do all of those. We're not going to clear cut, as I would say, all the way back up. We're just going to kind of shape them on both of these right here. So just give a little bit of shape up, because what that will do will encourage them to thicken up. And we want those to be nice and thick and even more glorious than they are right now. So that's project number 2. Project number 3 is coming over here to the deck boxes. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of pruning on the deck boxes. They're looking fabulous. I don't have to do it right now because I planted these later in the season, and so they're doing great. But I can tell like my petunias are starting to get a little thin right here as far as the blooms. So again, we're going to come in and basically we're going to come around the edge and we're going to clean up all around the edge, and then I will selectively come in here and prune back a little bit of things. So like for example, you can see that I have my asparagus fern in here. Well, she's getting overtaken by the Diamond Frost. So we're going to kind of just thin things out a little bit. But I mean, it's beautiful and it's glorious, but I want to maintain that throughout the season. Of course, I need to come in and deadhead my dahlias. Dahlias are that one annual that I have that really need to be deadheaded on a regular basis. I have not done that, so I need to do that in these. And then I have, I was gonna say I have 3 asparagus ferns. This one's doing well because there was less planted around that. And I was like, well, where's my 3rd one? Y'all, all you can see is one little sprig coming up. So yeah, we got some things in here. So we're just gonna kind of clean them up, thin them out a little bit. And again, that will rejuvenate it. We're not gonna come back in here and completely shear it like I have done in the past. So like I said, it is warm, it is toasty. I'm getting a little bit later start than I wanted to, but that's all right because I was super productive this morning. It is what it is. It is July in North Carolina. You're going to sweat no matter what. So we're just going to go for it. We are going to start with the easiest. We're going to start with the Dichondra Silver Falls. So let me show you how easy that is to maintain. All right, my friends, so what we're going to do, this is super simple. Do not overthink this. I promise this is easy peasy. Just go with the process. Also, I am doing my best here with the camera angle. Hopefully it is showing everything because filming solo and then the full sun. So hopefully you can see. What we're going to do is get rid of this bug that's driving me crazy. But we're going to kind of come in and we're going to shape it up just a little bit. Y'all, if you just come in there, I don't really want to give it a complete, like, not like a flat top, but I kind of just did. So we're just going to kind of come in here and thin it out a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. I'm channeling my inner hairdresser, which I probably just did a terrible job of that. My April, who takes care of me, she's probably like, oh my gosh, Jenny, that was just terrible. So what we're going to do is, I love these little spinny hooks. They're great. I think we still have them on the website, but they do really well. And so we're going to try to kind of keep it. I'm going to start a little bit lower, cut it all off like that. And then we'll come in and just do a little shapey. There we go. That one was better. Yeah. Okay. So boom, there you go. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to do the other one, super simple, but with all of the annuals that we're pruning today, I'm going to go ahead and reapply the Proven Winners Continuous Release Fertilizer because I know on the container it says last up to 6 months, but in my heat and in all the rain we have, really about 3 months is what it lasts me. So all I'm going to do is, because it has that great shaker top, got my stool, I'm going to get up there, shake it into the top, get the other one pruned. We're going to water them because I haven't watered today, and that'll go ahead and start activating that slow release fertilizer, and boom, this part's done. All right, we started with the easy. We're working our way up from easy, medium to hard. Not really hard, just involved. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and trim up the Super Tunia Mini Vista Whites on the patio. Now, I am going to try using my new little steel. This is a handheld trimmer. Jackson actually got it for me for Mother's Day. It is, in case of those of you that are interested, it is the Stihl HSA 26. And so it comes with 2 different types of attachments here. It is battery operated. It is super quiet. So I love it. I'm loving the Stihl battery operated yard tools because I don't have to worry about oil and gas and cranking and all the other stuff. Super easy. Has a little tiny battery on it, but it works great. And so what we're going to do is really simple. I'm just going to go along the wall and I'm going to pull this against the edge of the stone and just cut off those petunias that are hanging over. Now y'all listen, I have been gardening for many years now. This is the first time I'm using an electric handheld on this type of stuff. I have used the hedge trimmers, the big hedge trimmers on the garden boxes before, but typically what I do is I'll just use my Felcos, right? My little hand pruners. If you don't have hand pruners, one, you need to get some. If you're gardening, you need to get a good pair. Scissors. Scissors work great too. Scissors almost work a little bit better than like the Felco 2s because they have that longer blade and you can really get in there and get the most bang for your buck on pruning. Do not overthink this. Just go in there and whack them. You do not have to go at a certain spot. Just go in, cut them back. It will rejuvenate the plant. We're going to put that slow release fertilizer on it afterwards. They're going to get tons of food through that. I will continue with my regularly scheduled water-soluble fertilizer, which for me, honestly, is about like every 3 weeks. That's just being honest. If I do it every 3 weeks, I am doing good. So we're going to get started because the sun is cranking. Friends, so I was, doing a great job coming out here, and then Jerry was like, "Ooh, power tools," and so he came and joined me. So we had a little bit of a tackled this 2 people, but I had the steel, and he had a DeWalt hand trimmer, battery operated, and so of course it has a much longer blade on it. So, just giving you options here. We have just recently gotten this, kind of testing it out. Obviously it is bigger, so it's also a little bit heavier. So, take it for what you want, but it has that 20 volt. So of course the great thing about the DeWalt's and the Steels are the same way, is that if you have one battery, and then basically they can be interchanged. So we could use other DeWalt batteries on this as well. So he had fun, and he made quick work of the other side, and then the island bed. So I know, y'all, it looks a little rough right now. It is okay, I promise. In 10 to 14 days, you are not going to know that we had pruned these, because they're going to flush out again and really quickly and come back over. They're just not going to be so monstrous and kind of take over the wall. And then what I asked him to do over here was really just go around the perimeter. We didn't take anything off the top. We just went around the perimeter. And again, like, of course, there's hard lines right now, but bringing it up off the edging, and another benefit of pruning it off the edging. And both of these, there were some weeds that were growing under there that I didn't see. So got it off of here. Of course, doesn't impede the path. It'll come back over though. It'll be fine. And then also for my shrubs, because they were growing into the gardenias and my 9-bark. And if you know, I've been trying to give these guys as much sun as possible so that they can really fill out. So that was a good thing. And so he just went all the way around and just cleaned it up on all the sides. And then you can see here that what that one looks like as well. Another thing is, because they were so far over, we have landscape lighting underneath here, and we haven't seen that for weeks because it was so thick with the petunias coming over. And yeah, so they're all ready, because this wall, just to kind of give you an idea, is this is how, I think these are 10 inches deep. And so the petunias, of course, are planted over here. So they're still got 10 inches at least of nice, fluffy, beautiful foliage that's coming over here. So I didn't actually scalp them. I did pretty good. And then probably what I'm gonna have to do, I could do it today, but honestly, it's hot and I just don't wanna do it today. If we wanna know the truth, is that come in and come back around here and make sure it doesn't go into my camellias. And then it's not so bad around the boxwoods, but just kind of making sure, like right in here, that they're not going to go into my camellias, because of course these are the October Magic white shishi camellias, and so they will bloom in this fall with gorgeous white flowers. So they're working on putting on their buds right now, and want to make sure we get plenty of sun in there on those camellias. So what we're going to do is he's going to help me again using the DeWalt drill, not drill, I'm used to saying drill, the DeWalt hedge trimmer, and clean up the edges of the deck boxes, and then I'll do the stuff in the middle. All right, my friends, shoo-wee. It is noon and we are done. That, just get out here and just sweat it out for a little bit and get her done. But this one did not look quite as severe as I thought it may look, and definitely looks a lot better than the ones I have done in the past. I did plant these annuals a lot later this season than I have traditionally. And so in the years past, it's always been right there at July 4th where I just like, not only do I take the hedge trimmers to the sides, but also to the tops. And so this year did not have to prune as severely. And yeah, so the pollinators are still quite happy, and we only focused on the inside. Obviously on the outside, the annuals are hanging over there as well. We could have done that, but you know what? These plants basically go on both sides, as far as they're kind of, most of them are planted pretty much kind of in the center. And so by pruning one side, you kind of prune the plant in general. And if I need to later on in the season, like if this is the new Supertunia Vista Cool Jazz, and so if it gets too leggy on the other side, of course I can trim it. But speaking of, do you not love this combination? I do. So you have got the new Vista Cool Jazz that will be out next year. Then you have got the Mini Vista Plum Veined that's out now. And then of course the Mini Vista White. But those three together, oh my gosh, I think they are stunning. So that would be a really, really pretty combination to use. And so love that. And then of course this is for next year as well, the Shadow Storm Sweet Potato Vine. So it is that variegated, has that gorgeous color in it, nice mounded habit, but yay. So now you can see that, you can actually see the asparagus fern. I probably could have come in here and pruned a little bit more on Diamond Frost, but that's all right. So lots of good sunlight in there. So she is happy. And then this one over here as well, can really get some more sun. Could have maybe taken some of the salvia off right here, but overall lots more sun in there, and so that is very good. When I prune my salvias, whether it is especially like these unplugs, and so I have the unplugged So White here, and then also remember by the fountain I have the unplugged So Blue. I'm trying to see if I can find one. So basically it's kind of the center stalk right here, this will be the first one to quote go, and so it'll get super tall and start to get brown on the bottom. So I just come in and take that one off, and then you've got the side shoots. So it's rare if I'm pruning a salvia that I would come in and like completely flat top it. You can, it's not going to hurt anything, but the plant has that, just is constantly putting out fresh flowers, and so if you take off those older ones, then of course that helps rejuvenate the plant, and then they just keep on going. But overall, I feel really good about this. Jerry used the DeWalt and just came in and just, as you can see, just went right along the edge of the boxes and just cleaned them up, took all of that off the bottom, and then of course using the continuous release fertilizer on them, I just shook it on top, and then I just went back with my hand and kind of zhuzhed it so those pellets fall down. This is on drip irrigation, so it runs once a day for like 15 minutes, I think, and so clearly they are doing great. As is, I know somebody's going to say, the blue chiffon. So this is blue chiffon Rose of Sharon. It is a standard that is planted obviously in the flower bed below. But my gosh, y'all, right in here, we are just having pollinator paradise in the gardens this year with all of the salvias and the petunias and all these great plants. But love that blue chiffon Rose of Sharon. Isn't that so pretty? Love it, love it. All right, my friends, so if you can get out there and do a little maintenance, go for it. If it's too hot, then it's too hot. The plants will be fine. But trying to just maintain the petunias, because the petunias for me are those ones that, because we have such a very long growing season, that I have to go ahead and trim them up. If you have a growing season that is much shorter than North Carolina, let's say you're in Michigan or you're in Maine or you're New York, somewhere like that, right? Your growing season is going to be considerably shorter than mine is. You may never, ever have to prune your petunias. That's just kind of being a student of your own garden and understanding what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And so I had posted a picture of our bubblegums up on the terrace garden, and a friend of ours who has a nursery in Michigan was like, "You're like 4 to 6 weeks ahead of what we are." And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's just, that's just what it is, right? That's just geography. And so where we are, so she may not have to prune her supertunias, whereas I do, because we have an incredibly long growing season. And these plants, I don't care how much you fertilize them, how much water you give them, blah, 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 they need a trim. And so because these plants bloom on new growth, so when you cut them, when you prune them, you're encouraging new growth, which is going to give you those beautiful blooms and keep a nice, thick, sturdy plant. So that is why we go ahead and prune those petunias and any other plants. As a general rule, there's just about any kind of annual you can go ahead and prune. The exception would be grasses. You don't want to go in there and like top off your annual grass. Just about anything else as far as annuals go, they typically will benefit greatly from being pruned. So if it's in a container, a hanging basket, a deck box like this, the landscape, and you notice that they're getting thin, the flowers are not as much, prune it. Prune it, give it some fertilizer, and you will be amazed how quickly they bounce back and are nice and big and full. So those are some easy growing tips and how I maintain my annuals here in North Carolina. It is lunchtime, so we're going to go in and get some lunch and probably put on some dry clothes and move on with our day. Y'all, I hope you have found this fun, informative, inspirational. If you have, please like and subscribe. It's that way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Have a fantastic day. Stay cool out there, my friends. Happy July 4th. I think it's a little early as far as, I think it's a day early when this video will go out. So have fun to stay safe on July 4th. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.